Boxes, and I cannot find a name for them. They hardly show that I have lived, and the dust it settles on these things, displays my age again.
I just want to come here and tell you how encouraging it is to see you out here tonight. I've got a daughter that is in the 12th grade and another one in the 9th grade at Gorman High School just up the street. And I think about my daughter when she watched the presidential debates. And her big thing was, I wish these politicians were more sincere. We need to believe things. We need to have core convictions. I wasn't involved in politics when I was y'all's age. I mean, I voted, but that was about it. I didn't think it was that important. The most important thing to me was making a lot of money. That's all I cared about. I was raised in a single white trailer. I have kind of a similar story to what Chad was talking about. My mother voted for Jimmy Carter. And my father voted for Ford. And I remember my mom told me, she said, Carter cares about us because we're poor. And Ford, you know, the Republicans, they just care about rich people. I said, okay, well, you know, I'm 6 years old. What do I know? I'm just listening, mom versus dad. Well, when I was 10, my mom said, I'm voting for that Reagan guy. She said, because I didn't realize that Carter just wanted to make us all poor. So that's what happens. This class envy thing that you see, when you convince the producers that they're not going to be rewarded, they just stop producing. I mean, they go to other countries. They find the rich find a way. I can promise you, you're never going to stop the successful. I mean, people always wonder why. And I filibuster for 6, 8, 10 hours. I've got a person in the crowd that's going to let me know when I go too long. But you're never going to. The rich are always going to have what they have. All you can do is punish the people that are trying to succeed, people that are trying to produce jobs, people that are trying to do well for their families. You punish them. And it's just so frustrating for me. If you'll notice a lot of rich people, you ever notice how they really love cities? And you know, they really want to see these cities grow. And you ever wonder, man, why are they so interested in the cities? Well, they invest in these things called tax-free municipal bonds. And when the cities grow, they make money without having to pay taxes on them. So there's always going to be a loophole. You've always got, what you've got to do is you've got to elect people that want government small. Because what happens when you have big government, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, people just try to buy the government. That's what they do, to get their loophole, to get their special exemption. They want a big, and that's the problem with we've got now, is all these folks, all these industries that should be producing the better goods and services are trying to gain control of the government. And that doesn't help the consumer, that doesn't help any of us. All it helps is these people can get 50% plus one vote to take more control of your lives. I know you're in college now. I commend you. Because, you know, like I said, when I was in college, I wasn't thinking about politics. I mean, I was looking out for number one. Then you get a little older, you start having kids. And then you start to realize that there's something more. So that's why I got involved in politics. I ran for the school board when I was 29 years old. Got elected. My wife and I had this huge debate. I wanted my kids to go to private school. She wanted to go to public school. So we did this contest. If I won the election, then they could go to public school. Because I would know what was going on in the schools. I felt like, you get the inside scoop. You're in the executive, super secret meetings. So, you know what's going on. So won the election, got involved, was able to stop a contract which was very questionable, where basically an individual was going to watch a school be built and get $500,000 just to watch it be built, and it happened to be the spouse of one of my fellow board members. I stopped that contract. It became a war, and basically Alderman Spartanburg ended up running for the Senate and got into the Senate. It's been an interesting experience because, believe it or not, there are kind of these hinky-looking contracts going on all over the state. So it's a constant fight. You're always sticking your finger in somebody else's pie. I'm sure it's the same way on the national level. The bottom line is, just remember this: government is dangerous. I mean, government grows by its very nature. And when it grows, it takes away your freedom. When it gives something to you, it takes something away from somebody else. Now, we've got and y'all, I saw y'all open with prayer. I mean, democracy doesn't work without morality. They can't work together, because what you do is you vote away the possessions of other people. And that's where we are now. We just go in and we say, I want this, I want that, this guy's got more, how can I get it? Well, I'm gonna tax his property, I'm gonna tax his income, I'm gonna tax everything he purchases. And I think Romney's gonna, my gut feel is Romney's gonna win. I'm gonna go out on a ledge. You know, I've got Democrat friends, we don't agree on anything, but we talk. And they believe that it's gonna be a Romney victory. And I think that what Chad was saying as far as making phone calls in North Carolina, Virginia, anything you want to do to help the party, you know, you've got friends on Facebook. I mean, this social networking is unbelievable. You've got friends you can influence. When you grow up and you get older, you're going to have that sphere of influence. As long as you stay plugged in, you'll be amazed the number of people that will come to you because they see that you pay attention. And they'll ask you who to vote for. I mean, there's people that will have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 votes they control. And you want to be that kind of influence maker. You want to be that kind of person that pays attention and not only has your vote, but has people that you can influence in the vote in the same direction you're going. Because that's all we're going to have any real change. If you just do your vote, and we need not the kind of change that we were told 4 years ago. We kind of changed in the total wrong direction. We need a type of change where we go back to individual liberties, go back to the founding documents. I mean, those guys were tired of being oppressed by the government. And now we've got tyrants in Washington, D.C., where we used to have tyrants across the ocean. And they're trying to control our lives, and they're trying to tell us what we're going to do. I mean, it's unreal. If you think about whether it's cigarette smoking, you know, nobody here thinks cigarette smoking is a good thing for the most part. I don't think anybody thinks that should be part of your health plan. Nobody thinks that, you know, I'm living proof that all this sugar is good for you. But I don't want somebody that's elected to tell me how big my coat can be. It's none of their business. And the more they try to do, every time they try to do a good thing that we all think is a good thing, they just took a little power away from your life. So be very protective of your liberty. I was a huge, I loved Reagan. I mean, I was 18 when he was out of office, so I never got to vote for him. But I mean, I listened to some of his speeches, listen to him still today. I mean, he was a great hero of mine. He talked about liberty and freedom. This election cycle, you know, I was a big supporter of Ron Paul. You know, I got a lot of flack for that. But I'm going to err on the side of liberty every time because I trust people to make the right decisions. And I don't trust government. Because government's ran by politicians who got 50% plus one vote. If you get one more vote than the other guy, what does that mean? You have to be able to control other people's lives. And that's what we do. I mean, it's amazing. It's the biggest bunch of do-gooders you've ever seen. I mean, one guy gets an idea, all of a sudden it's a law, next thing you know, we're telling you what to do, we're micromanaging your life. So just be very mindful of that. I'm glad to come talk to any group at any time, answer any questions for you. I know what I believe, and I think it's important for you guys to know what you believe because you're going to be challenged. And you've got to be able to have that knowledge to know exactly how to defend yourself. Because I've had to go on the Senate floor, I've filibustered budgets 8-10 hours before. So, you know, stay informed because as you start to have that sphere of influence, you got to maintain your credibility, so you've got to know the facts. And I don't know if I outran Chad's time or not, but I'll be glad to answer any questions.
It's a quiet crowd, man.
It's a very quiet. I don't know what you did to them.
Is it Monday night?
So, well, Senator Bright, I guess I'll throw out a question for you. What can we see this upcoming session as far as what's going to come from the General Assembly?
We have a Republican governor, a Republican Senate, a Republican House, but we don't have conservative majorities. And you've got what you had, you know, I think Bush did a lot of good things, but I wasn't a big Bush fan, to be honest with you. I mean, we grew government, the Republican Party grew government. I think that's why we lost the control. And that's what happens in this state. You know, they want to grow government. I mean, you've got a majority of people in the Senate that used to be Democrats that switched parties because it was politically expedient. And now they've got control of the chamber. With their votes and the Democrats, we lose every time. So what happens in these elections, you've got Senator Levinas has retired. And I got to tell you, these are the most entertaining people you've ever met in your life. I'm probably the dullest one of the group. But out of 46 people, if you wanted to go on a hunting trip, if you wanted to go on a cruise with 45 other men, which, you know, but we don't have any women in the Senate, which may change. We got a couple of opportunities there. But if you wanted to go, and I say men just because that's what we have, if you wanted to go out with that group, they're the funnest group in the world. John Land can make you nauseous from laughing so hard. He just retired. He's one of the most liberal senators. I mean, he thinks like, you know, a lot of stuff that Ted Kennedy believes. We've got people in the South Carolina Senate believe the same thing. And several of them retired. So let's see what happens. It depends on who gets elected. I mean, it's just that crucial. If we elect the right Republicans, conservative Republicans, we can get some real change. But the Senate's the problem, and the House may be the problem. I mean, here's the issue there. The House knows they've got covered. I mean, these people got 50% plus one vote, so they know how to work with the public. Okay? The House knows I can kick this stuff over the Senate, brag about being conservative. The buddies in the lobby are going to love me because the Senate's going to kill it. So it's all a big shell game, and you can't watch it fast enough. All you can do is hope you elect the right people.